buddy. I've noticed sometimes when I start this up, if I start talking right immediately, the sound isn't there. So I'm giving it a chance to warm up and come up to speed. In the theatrical world, they would basically say, rolling, turn the cameras on, get the sound rolling, because it was recorded separately. They didn't put, you get a modern camera, it's got sound built into the camera, but even today, because of unions, frankly, they've got sound people and they've got camera people, and they're not the same. But I got my John Wayne picture here and over here. There's a little film. The strips on this one are film strips, and those little square inserts are cell inserts. Now, it's not the film that they used, but when they would preview something, they would film it and put it up on something like that. Because it was expensive to go from filming on a camera into something that could be projected in a theater. They had to project from a little cell up into something big and enormous. So the quality of that cell had to be really good. Nowadays, it's digital, and they got a digital screen up there. So you don't have to worry about it. Or if it is projected, it's a digital cell that they project up on the screen. I don't have my coffee with me because I've already finished mine, and I don't drink that much coffee all the time. So I've already had my morning coffee. I'm up a little later. I'm recording this on Saturday. I had to clean every 2 or 3 days. I try to put stuff away. I don't have a lot of stuff to put away because I don't have stuff to put away in. I have lots of stuff waiting for some place to go. All that stuff is I'm going through this, and this is what I thought I'd talk about today. Have a plan. Whatever it is, create a plan. You can change it. It's your plan. If you want to change it every day, that's a lot of work, and especially if they're not connected. But have a plan. And that way, if you decide, why is that bleeding over there? It's picking up a shadow. I'm too in the corner. I don't know why it's doing that. There's plenty of light, but apparently I'm casting a shadow. Okay, I'll have to try to figure that out, why it's bleeding over there. Where am I blocking it? I don't know. Details to work out. You get to see it all because although this is filmed, right now I'm not editing it. And it can change. I've got to figure out what's causing that. I'm not getting enough light for some reason. Maybe I bumped one of the adjusting knobs are on the back, but they're right at the edge. And if you move it, you might touch those. And I think I've done that. They don't look exactly the same. I've got two LED lights over here. All right, let's get on with my story. Have a plan. As I'm going around here and looking at all the little things, there's nothing big. Little things that I have to fix in this house and things I have to buy. And I can hear Kitty. I don't know if you can. He's out in the hallway. He'd come in here and get into trouble, so I'm not going to let him in. You've seen him recently. You saw him a couple days ago. I'll bring him out again. Okay. But I have to sit there and I have to work up a budget. You plan. Now, God should be included in every plan. And this is what I want to get to. The Bible says, you say, I'm going to go here and I'm going to do this and do that and travel here and travel there. How do you know? Do you know what tomorrow's going to bring? You don't know what today's going to bring. It should be, Lord willing, I'm going to do this and do that. Not, I plan on doing this. If you're not doing it with God, you've got no guarantee. If you're doing it with God and you checked with him and it's okay, then you can probably do it. Like I said, it's our plan and we can change it. We're also God's plan and he can change it. He doesn't change his rules, but he can change the plan of what to do during the day. He may send you, you may say, I want to go from here to the market or whatever. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to let you go to the market but he knows he's not going to let you go in. You're going to meet somebody at the door going in, and they're going to need help, and you're going to stop and help them. But you didn't plan on that. Your plan was to go into the market. You see, you can't second guess God and what he's doing. Where is that? I don't know where that's coming from. Somewhere I'm getting a shadow. Huh. I don't know. Maybe the camera's got some kind of a, I didn't clean the lens today, but it was closed, so it should be okay. But I clean the lens once a week, but it shouldn't have a problem. Okay, I'll have to look into that. You don't know the plan. You may think you've got it, but then you've got to remember we have an enemy out there who would love to see you just drop dead. He doesn't care. And if he can't make you drop dead, then he wants you to suffer big time. Yeah, I don't have the lighting right. Something's not right. That's why my face will turn like that and then go back. But I'm not going to stop the video because what you see is what you get. I don't make this stuff up for you. I could. One of the projects that I just worked on last weekend, the guy's starting to give us some of the footage, and he's used some of the stuff that we did, but then he's using AI to generate other missing footage. It's doing pretty good. It's not 100%, but it's close enough to use if he wants to use it. Sometimes our faces are a little bit younger because the AI doesn't know how to put wrinkles and old age skin and stuff in. And so it's a little smoother. That's the problem. The face is where the AI has the problem. And you can tell that if somebody looks younger than what you remember them, it's probably AI. But basically, we did some green screen work where we were in a rubber raft. And we filmed it, and he filmed around us, and he's got all that footage, but we didn't do some action shots he wants. And he had the AI create the action shots. If he stays far enough back, it's going to look just like us. So it's going to be, it's not going to go for a whole hour. It's just going to be a little insert. You're not going to notice. All right. I was listening this morning and I saw a video online of Ted Nugent. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's definitely a rocker. But I haven't heard his testimony in a long time. I don't remember how long he's been a Christian, but he's definitely a Christian. And he fights for the rights of people to be able to live free of the government if they're not breaking any real laws. And he's a hunter. He goes out and hunts. I have nothing against hunting. I think it's fine. I did it for a long time. But like I said, I don't want to get up at 4 a.m. to go hunting anymore, so I don't do it. If somebody said, come along, I might go along. I don't know. But I'm not going to get up at 4 a.m. If you're going to go to a deer stand, you got to get up at 4 a.m. Now, when I hunted with my dad, we could get up at 7 or 8 a.m, have breakfast, go get in the truck, drive up into the mountains where the deer were going to go. The deer come down the valley to feed, and then they go up in the mountains. I'd go up and do that. We'd be in the truck driving around looking for deer. And if you saw some, you'd get out and you'd try to find a vantage point where you could get to them. But if you couldn't get the vehicle to them, you didn't kill them because they're heavy. But it was a fairly easy shoot. Same thing with, deer hunting. It's daylight was what you're shooting for. And deer hunting is, fall for the most part. So you just do what you can to get out there. But I don't want to do that anymore. It's too much work. Besides, here in Georgia, I feel obligated because the only time I see some of these friends of mine that I see is during deer season. And I think that's using people, and I don't like that. Is it my head? I don't know what it is. It's driving me crazy. Because it's not matter. I don't know. It's just a tad bit out. I could adjust it, but it's lighting. I tried to have things tucked away so they're not out in the middle of the room. And that might be my problem. I need to probably pull them forward a couple of feet, get me a better, stronger angle. Okay, I'll work on it offline. Back to the story. So Ted Nugent's hunting bear someplace, and he shoots at a bear and it misses. But somebody who doesn't like him created a law that if you've ever shot at an animal, you've used your tag. Now that's absurd, but you got to have a tag on an animal. So he didn't get that one. He went and got another bear and shot it and tagged it. They took him to court. This would have been thrown out of anybody else's court, but this was under the Biden administration. And all of his people were told, get Ted Nugent, because he's always putting us down. He's exposing us to his fan base, which is pretty big. And so they wanted to get him. And they were told, anything you can do to take him down. So he had a good attorney, one that was under, what's her name, the female governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin, I think is what her name was. It was her attorney general. So he had a good attorney. And his attorney said, look, we can win this, hands down, but it's going to cost you millions of dollars to do it because you're going up against the federal government and all their stolen resources that you talk about all the time. They can funnel it into an account and just pay for your demise. So he settled, fined him $10,000 and told him not to hunt for 2 years. This is the government. This is exactly what you would get if we continued on with that administration. Under Trump, he's pulling the government back into control. What's going to happen when he's gone? He says, well, somebody else is going to take over, another conservative. Who's had his charisma, his chutzpah, if you will, to go up against these guys? Nobody. I haven't seen anybody like this. Even Reagan wasn't as outgoing as this. Reagan was just such a nice guy. If he went before the media and said, look, these guys are just not helping. I'm trying to get this passed for you. He was such a nice guy with the public, being an actor and everything, and had years of working as a governor in California. He could reasonably talk to people and pull them over to his side. With Trump, he's in their face. He insults them by calling them the truth, by telling them what they're doing. They don't like that. Most politicians say, well, here comes the honorable so-and-so. They're not even allowed to refer to the person as this stingy miser who's been stealing your money for 20 years should be retired. They don't say stuff like that out in the public, but Trump does. He's not technically a politician, but he's a businessman and he knows how to negotiate deals. That's why we might be, I'll see it when I believe it when I see it, we might be getting a $2,000 check. Anybody under $100,000, and I definitely qualify, might be getting a check. We'll see. I could use it. I still got 2 more teeth to fix, or 4 more teeth to fix, and I need a washer and dryer, so I'm trying to save up for those right now. I went to the laundromat a couple of days ago, and that's okay. I can do that. It's not beyond me. It's just it would be easier if it was here. Because then I could do laundry 3 or 4 times a week. Right now, I'm only doing it every couple of weeks. I let it accumulate and do it at one shot. I've got to get in and put some oil in my lawnmower and fix it because it was running low and I didn't like to run it when it's low. So I stopped mowing and I got a small part on the side I got to fix. I got to keep mowing. Got things to do all the time. Make a plan. Make a plan stand. Change it as necessary. Check in with the boss every day. Every day you need to have a plan. And you need a big plan, and then you need micro plans. I've run 3 corporations in my life, all of which I started with the help of my family and friends. We ran the corporations. So I know how to do taxes. I know how to do ledgers. I know how to do accounting software to be able to keep track of all that. The government doesn't care that you make money, just that you keep good tabs on that money. They don't, but they require it of you. They're hypocrites. But I've done all that. I know how to fill in spreadsheets and put formulas in spreadsheets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. Most people don't. I've done all this. I can do presentations. I've done PowerPoint presentations. I've spoken to, I don't think I had generals there, but I know I had captains and colonels When I was working at TRW, I had to do a spiel on what we were doing, and I got to do that. So that was cool. I was nerve-wracking at it. And then they came back with the question that I wasn't prepared for. And I had to have my boss step in and answer it. But that's all right. My boss is already ready, but he won't step in and answer it. He'll just give you the answer. They tried to trap Jesus many times, and he had the answer. He usually quoted a verse. When he was tempted by Satan, he quoted verses back. Satan quoted a verse out of context, and Jesus quoted a verse back. That's your best argument. In the Bible, it says that if you have to go to court, first off, settle out of court if you can. But in the case of like Ted Nugent, they wanted to get him. This is hatred, pure, unadulterated hatred. And the one that has the most of that, Satan, and he gets volunteers to step forward for him all the time. The armor of God will protect you. God will protect you. But you might have to endure. He got through it. He lived through it. It cost him a little bit of money. I don't know what 10,000 is to his budget. That might be his food budget for the month. I don't know. But whatever it is, he got through it. God will get you through whatever you're going through. You just have to put up with, the world out there. It's not getting better. So you have to be ready. I'm just talking through this video. This isn't a Bible study. I just noticed some things today that kind of tie things in. They went after him because he was outspoken. Now, I'm outspoken, but I'm not outspoken too much, apparently. YouTube just has me in a general category of, don't throw him off the end of the pier yet, but let's restrict so that people can't find his videos. You hit like, it's supposed to improve my score so I can be seen by more people. But if they're in their high filtering mode, they typically get to that point when they start looking at my budget on YouTube. If I make $100 a month in ad revenue or your thanks button, if I make $100 a month, they have to pay me that. But if it's 99.99, they don't have to pay me. And I've actually had 99.75 or something one month, and they didn't pay me. So the next month, they add it on to the next month. I always get the money, but they delay it. They don't show me how much revenue I've made during the month. They put a number up, but it's never right. And it's days old, trying to discourage me. I'm still here, YouTube, I'm still here. You haven't gotten rid of me. And I have a backup plan. If you take me off the line, which you could easily do, I'll go over to another platform. I'll go over to multiple other platforms. If I had the time, I'd do it now, but I'm a one-man show. I'm going to get this here, and I'm going to try to get this up on Rumble. And in doing so, I'm getting my message out. The way I look at it, I've got more viewers than some Baptist churches in the South. There's a lot of churches out there that have 20 and 30 members, and they should be full. There's a big church here in town. I've been looking for a church, and I haven't found one yet. I'm trying to go to each one at a time, and that's every Sunday that I have to go to a different church. And if I'm not working, so I've missed one for working, but I haven't found one yet. I don't want big and pompous, we're here to help you make money and prosper. I don't want those. I also am leery of ones that don't have any members. If you're 25 or 20 people in a church, something's wrong, unless you're out in the middle of nowhere and there isn't a town for 500 miles. If you're in a town, you should have more people. The message itself will draw people in. You have to just learn to do that. Presentation is important. Fixing your lighting is important. I'll get to that. I've already straightened my picture on the wall. This is my green screen version of it. That's why you can see the green in the corner. Lighting is better this way. The room is long this way, and narrow the other way, and I couldn't get the lighting the way I wanted it. Plus, if there's light behind me, it will come in over the top and over the top of the green screen, which is behind me. So I get some backlighting. You want backlighting. Now the lighting you see, well, reflecting here and here, there it is. That was there when I took the picture. I could have taken it without the lighting, but then you saw the lighting for a few days as I was recording when I first set this up. I can't change the pictures unless I change the picture and take another one. And I can take you on trips. We can go all kinds of places by me just changing the background picture. So if I do talk about Jerusalem and the Temple Mount, I may put that behind me. We're not going to go there. I can't afford the budget of going over there. Some of the bigger guys can, but I can't. So if you can go on your own, any number of people have tours over there. I would take the true Bible teachers like John, what's his name? I can't think of his name. John Barnett. He's a good Bible teacher. Amir Safati would be okay, but he's not with his groups all the time. He's got people taking him out. I'm assuming that he takes people out, but one of the guys I like to watch is Danny the Digger. He'd be on there with our TV news host. What's his name? Names. I just can't hold names in my head. I have to let them kind of filter down. But he does this newscast at TBN. What's his name? But he goes over to Jerusalem all the time, and he's met with Netanyahu, and because he's a newscaster, he can do that. And they'll take you to sites and say, well, this is where we found this. You know, everything that they find in archaeology backs up the Bible. But you don't hear that from people that oppose it. All right. I guess I've talked your ears off enough. So just have a plan. Work on it with God. If you don't know what to do, then the first thing on your list is to have a plan. If you got to have a bucket list, the first thing you got to do is buy a bucket. Put that on your list. When I get ideas for things to talk to you about, I put them on a notepad in my phone. My shopping list is in my phone. I use the calendar all the time. On this day, I got to do this. I got to go in on the 18th and have my permanent tooth put in. This is a temporary. I've got all this stuff on there because I can't remember this stuff. I don't have a secretary, so I need to be able to do all this. Pray for me as always. God needs to direct every step I take for you. And we got to keep working around the world who doesn't want to hear from us. In Africa, they're killing Christians. Thousands, hundreds of thousands in the past few years. Christians. Now, we don't have that problem here, but they would if they could, believe me. We've got Muslims in Canada, Muslims in France, the UK. Germany just came out and said they're for Israel. Good for them. Any country that backs Israel has the backing of God. You can look at Genesis. If you're for Israel, I'm for you. If you're against Israel, I'm against you. You want to be for Israel. That's God's chosen people. No replacement theology. They've been put in the corner, told to sit there and keep quiet until our time is done. And it's almost done. So it's about ready to switch. So you need to make sure that everybody knows. And if you can't give them the gospel, give them God's love by just being nice to them. That you can do. Until we meet in the clouds. God bless.